they had to basically cut my ear off from the back and like fold it onto your face. There was a bit of time where I was like, I don't know if I can ever surf again, and like, what direction am I going to go with my life then? Wear your earplugs, kids.
Well, let's hit it. You guys
Let's do it.
Want to get into it?
Yeah.
Yes, jump straight in.
Welcome back to the podcast, episode number 3, and it took us so long because we didn't have Shane on board. Shane is the new employee. He's going to take over podcasting and a bunch of other content. He already did a bunch of interviews on the beach. He is the most talented surfer on our team. The boy knows how to surf, and hopefully he can educate all of us, because I got to get better at surfing too. And I guess, do you got anything to add? Should we just get into how we met?
Yeah.
And of course we got Justin over here too.
Folks?
What's up? No, I'm really stoked to join the team, and yeah, tell the story about how we met.
Nice. So it's actually a funny, I think funny story how we met. I think it was 4 years ago when I pulled up that video. It was 2019.
I think we met in 2018, right before.
All right, so
yeah, December.
There was this one magical winter out front in Mission Beach, and it was just like perfect right-hand point break. It was crazy, and I was there with a friend, my buddy, teaching me Wim Hof on the beach, where you like do your breathing and then you jump in the water, and it's supposed to, everyone does ice baths now, but this was kind of when it was getting popular. So we were doing Wim Hof, and this guy was out there ripping on his Hypto Crypto. And I'm like, this guy surfs so good, I could just watch him forever. And so when we were still like doing our breathing, he gets out of the water, and I'm like, dude, you rip. Like, that was so fun to watch. I think I said like I should film you sometime, because obviously if you've followed us for a while, we put out a lot of videos, and that's how we met. I just complimented his surfing, and now 4 or 5 years later, he's on the team.
Yeah, very excited. Yeah, you came out to me.
I want to know it from your point of view. What were you like, this guy?
Yeah, I'd gotten out. I was like a super good sandbar there. It's never came back and may not ever again. We won't know. But yeah, you came up to me and you were like, hey, let me give you, like, I like the way you surf. I like to shoot surf content around here, and let me give you my number. Text me the next time you're going to come down here, and I'll come shoot you. And I was like, yeah, of course.
Did you think that was weird?
No.
That's the best compliment you can ever get. You're surfing by yourself, you get out, someone's like, oh, can I please film you?
Yeah.
You're doing something right. Shane got in his car and was like, yeah.
Yeah, I hit you up the next time I surfed there. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be there this day. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. We made a ton of great videos out there too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been seeing your videos like for a long time. Because how soon after you guys met did you actually link up and film your guys' first video?
Like that week, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, I sent out an email with it was the first video I found on our channel with you. Mm-hmm. I think it was 2019. So I don't know when we met, but that was the first one. Filmed you for a while. We haven't done a lot of them lately, but I want to get more like how-to videos with you, and
that'd be awesome.
And also got to show his personality. And all the other a lot of the videos, it was like he was already out in the water when I started filming him, but whenever I would like see him, talk to him in person, he was always like telling me about his boards and like all this new stuff he's excited about, and I'm like, we need to get that on camera. So we're gonna show you who Shane really is.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, actually, perfect. Tell us your life story. How did we get here? California boy.
Yeah, I grew up in Santa Barbara. I started surfing in 1995, which was 27 years ago. I think I've been surfing, and I 28 years ago. I don't know, a long time.
You got some experience under the belt.
Yeah, and I started standing up on a boogie board, and then I went to a little surf camp, and they had Doyles, and I wasn't riding them, and one of the instructors was like, how come you never take a surfboard out? And I was like, I've never tried standing up on one. I just do it on a surfboard. Or I do it on a boogie board. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into surfing. And it's not just a passion.
Where was this?
This was in Santa Barbara. Okay. It was a backside Rincon, I think, was the first wave I ever surfed. And yeah, it's not just a passion for me, but a lifestyle. And I love spreading my love for surfing and teaching people new tricks and things. nothing that makes me more happy than being in the water and somebody paddles up and is like, yo, how do I do that? Or like, what am I doing wrong? Or like, how can I do this better? That's like my favorite thing to do.
Which I would not expect. I was
Yeah.
like,
That's awesome.
I'm like, Shane doesn't want to surf with me. I'm not good. I would just
No.
film you in the beginning. I wouldn't expect, I don't know. You see like the good guys and you're like, oh, I'm just going to leave them alone. Let them do their thing.
No, not
And you
at
see a
all.
lot of the good guys too, and it depends where you surf too. But a lot of the guys that absolutely rip, you can look at them, you can tell they have their blinders on. You know, like they're just out there trying to catch waves. Do you actually have a lot of people that come up to you and be like, ask for tips or give you compliments or anything like that?
Yeah, I say what's up to like everybody.
That's
I mean, at some waves you don't do it because it's just like salty old guys and they're
Sure.
not friendly. But at like the more like practice beach, like in PB, like yeah, absolutely. Like I'll talk to anybody.
That's cool.
That's the secret name for it.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's what we call it.
I've never heard that before.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Practice beach.
And I was a surf instructor for a bit over a decade. So, I mean, I grew up teaching kids camps and then doing like traveling camps and then coaching. And yeah, I love teaching surfing.
Yeah, you said you did like the after school program with like Nat Young or somebody like
No.
people that are pros now.
Yeah, Lakey Peterson, Parker and Connor Coffin also did it. And I've known Nat since we were in like 7th grade. I met him at a contest in Oceanside and he was like the nicest guy ever, like super friendly. Yeah, but
I thought that was cool. Like, so I'm from Wisconsin. You do like little league, like after school program or whatever, and Shane's doing the pro surfing coaching, whatever.
It's like the dream Southern California lifestyle.
Yeah,
especially as a kid.
Yeah, I did NSSA contest, ISF contest. Volcom had a totally crustaceous tour, which were like the most fun contests, and then a few coalition, which is like longboard and like the different PB Surf Club, Malibu Surfing Association, Rincon Surf Club. They all kind of compete against each other and do it for bragging rights against the other clubs.
Right on.
So when did you retire from competitive surfing?
I retired just after I kind of was losing a bit of love for it in college. And then when I went to SDSU, so I moved to San Diego in like 2011 and I met a couple guys that I used to compete against and they were on the surf team and they were like, oh, we don't really take it that seriously. We like party together and then occasionally like go to contests and then party with the other teams afterwards. And it's more of a fun thing. And I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Let's do it. So I did that for 2 years. We won a West Coast title the first year I was on it, and then a West Coast title and a national championship title the second year for the NSSA college division.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you say that was longboarding or shortboarding?
I was a shortboarder on the team. I didn't win the title myself. Our team won the title.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What did you so you started boogie boarding and then did you longboard or shortboard? Because you're really good on the hip to crypto, but you also love longboarding.
I rode
You do everything.
I rode like foam boards and then a mid-length fun shape kind of board that my old shaper, shout out to Damian Ricchino.
Before mid-lengths were popular?
Well,
You
no,
invented the mid-length?
I think mids were, God, I think the Takayama Egg is like 90s or something. I'm going to do some research on when the mid-length came out, and we're going to talk about that.
Nice.
I rode a fun shape, and then I would kind of split my time between longboarding and shortboarding. I actually first started competing in longboarding, and then switched to shortboarding because it was cooler, and yeah. But now that I'm older, I think I longboard almost as much as I shortboard, and yeah, I like both pretty equally.
Yeah, it seems like you do it all. You do, but you got your hip toe, you got the longboard, and you got your red rocket.
Yeah,
little
big
mid-length.
red.
Yeah.
It's not a red rocket.
Big red. Sorry.
Yeah, big red's sick.
Yeah.
Really fun board. A 8-ish foot Takayama Egg.
Okay.
Yeah, very fun. And then
So that was college in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happened?
and then I worked for a surf shop, PB Surf Shop, and then I worked for a couple brands doing kind of field marketing stuff. One of the surf ones was Sanook, and then I also worked for Sovereign Republic, which was a backpack company that's local here. And and then COVID happened, and the whole field marketing industry kind of went away for a little bit there. Did a few non-surf related jobs, and then I had a pretty catastrophic ear injury that had a really bad infection, and it collapsed, and they had to basically cut my ear off from the back and like fold it onto your face. Then they like chisel away some bones, and they put a bunch of titanium in there, sealed it back up, and after like almost a year being dry, I could finally surf again. No more big waves, nothing over a couple feet overhead, but just happy I can go in the water again, because there was a bit of time where I was like, I don't know if I can ever surf again, and like what direction am I going to go with my life then? So
Yeah.
That was from an ear infection.
Yeah, really, really bad ear infection. Wear your earplugs, kids.
Wow.
Yeah. We're gonna dive deep into we'll do a episode about ear stuff, because this guy knows about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the journey, and then I just started here about a week ago.
Yeah. Happy to have you on the team. What do we got planned? So Shane's gonna take over podcast stuff, like I said. Boy's got a lot of good ideas, a lot of experience, a lot of people in the industry that he knows and can talk to. And we want to get him he's going to help us out with skits. I want to get like some surfing footage, maybe like how-tos, tutorials, whatever, tips. And of course, helping out at the warehouse. But as far as content for you guys, he's got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, really stoked to bring him to the table. And I don't know Justin's surf story, so I wanted to ask you about how you got into surfing, how you met Steve, all that kind of stuff. So
Totally.
How'd you get started?
It's kind of a weird one, because I did not come from the beach at all. Like, I'm kind of like a redneck that found a surfboard somewhere along like my early childhood. But I grew up in like Eastern Washington, like south of Spokane, about an hour or two. And our family took like a family trip to the beach, the Oregon coast, and it's like a 5-6 hour drive. And we pull up to the beach, and there's like a surf shop. My dad had to pick up some flip-flops or something like that. And so we go into the surf shop. I'm like maybe 6 or 7 years old. And I've never seen a surfboard before. I know what surfing is, but I've never like seen it. I didn't know it was a real thing besides like what you see on TV. And I remember going up to this like display board, which was like a shaper from, I think it was like from San Clemente or something like that. Doc Losh or something, if you know. If anybody would know, I feel like you would know. But I don't know. He's like a pretty well-known shaper at the time. And I remember picking up this board, or I was running my hand on it or something like that, and it fell and it dinged. And so my dad had to buy this board. And I'm like, we didn't come from money. So that was like the vacation fund has been spent within the first 5 minutes of the vacation.
Stupid kid.
Yeah. But I was like sick. I'm walking home with a freaking surfboard today. I'm going to be the coolest kid in school. And I pretty much, there's like one of the first photos of me with the surfboard is me at the beach with this surfboard. And I'm like grinning ear to ear, but I know my dad's in the background like, this is bullshit. And I had this surfboard in my room for like years, from pretty much like 7 years old to like, I had it till I was 20 or something like that. And I turned 16 and got my license and pretty much started making trips out to the Oregon coast to go surf. Pretty immediate. Like as soon as I got my license, I was like going there. Didn't know how to check the forecast. I knew nothing. I like just as simple of like what's the swell gonna be doing? What's the wind, the weather? Like there's no way that matters. I just pack up the car and drive 5 hours and hope for the best.
Sick.
Yeah, and I did that
like for a day.
No, usually for like 2-3 days.
And you camp?
Yeah, I camp on the beach or camp in my car, but mostly on the beach, which that was the fun part of it. Like,
That's sick.
and I would kind of do it. I had a really cool like intro to surfing because I would just pack the car with the surfboard. I don't even freaking know if I waxed the damn thing. Like I was like really naive to it, and would pack a fishing pole and like my camping gear, and I'd go hike to like Short Sands Beach in Oregon, and I'd pick mussels off the rocks and eat mussels for dinner. And if I caught a fish in the stream, I'd eat a fish, and then I'd go like pretty much bob up and down in the water for 15 minutes till I froze to death and come back. And then,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's a long story long. That's kind of how I got introed to it and like fell in love with the lifestyle behind it more or less more than the surfing itself. Just like the getting outside, going to the beach, going to the ocean, seeing the water. And then my aunt moved to San Diego and I started making trips down here when I was like probably like, yeah, 16, 17, 18 years old. And right away after coming to San Diego, I was like, this is where I'm going. Like, this is, without a doubt, that's the goal, to move to San Diego. And so, long story short, I moved here when I was like 20, 21. And that's when I started surfing heavy. So, like, my surfing career is not that old, but, I mean, it's from the day that I moved here, I've been surfing almost, like, weekly. And the waves are kind of hit or miss here, but, like, if the waves are good, I'm out there every day. So...
And then, so he moved to San Diego, and at that time we had our straw hats.
Yes.
And really cool hats, but they're so expensive to ship because you have to, put it in a big box. It was super expensive. So what I ended up doing with our leftovers was I said, anyone, like on Instagram, anyone that wants in San Diego, you want one, come pick one up from my place. So he came by to get a hat. I was like, oh, this kid's cool. We should be friends. And we became friends, and now he's on the team too.
Yeah, that was a crazy story too, because that was way before I moved to San Diego. Actually, I was 16. Like dude. When you met me, I was a literal kid.
Statute of limitations.
Steve's been grooming me for 10 years, and it worked. But no, dude, I remember that like it was yesterday. I pull up to your house, same house you're in now. Yeah. I now live there, which is kind of bizarre. But to pick up the straw hat, I was 16, and then we shared information or whatever. We followed each other on Instagram, and we're kind of like pen pals on Instagram, like liking each other's posts and commenting on each other's posts for like 4 years until I actually moved here. And then when I moved here, it was like, oh, let me text Steve and go surf Mission Beach. And it's kind of the intro. And
now we're boys.
Now we
got the best team. Look at us. I'm happy.
Come a long ways.
Yeah. Well, that's the stories. We got to wrap this before the camera runs out.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what? We got anything else to add to that? But this is the history episode, the introduction.
Yep. Yeah. We already did. We kind of ran over your story.
Talked about me and the company. Got both of you guys on there. Chad will be back soon. And got nothing else to say.
Sounds good. Looking forward to doing a few more podcasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we did a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's wrap it up then.
All right, that's the pod.
Later, guys.
Thank you.
Right on.